Right, this is the last ever episode.
Just to let you know, he raps, don't. Sorry, I was just like that. Sorry.
This is our last ever episode of Scheme to Boss because we've got a guest who didn't like the name yet. So I've got, as always,
We don't
I've got
like
James
grasses,
with me.
you know.
So today we're joined by Colin McGowan. Colin, the podcast is called For Now, from Scheme to Boss. So where are you from, mate? What do you do?
Well, how far back do you want me to go?
Right to the start.
Well, I was born in 345 Thistle Street in the Gorbals, right? Now, that was a room and kitchen and outside toilet. There was 6 years, my mum and dad made 8. With a dog called Teddy, a budgie called Joey, and a goldfish called Goldie.
You're taking the piss.
There was an outside...
It's like how much detail is like.
Well, there was
the fast me word I think is, so I'm going to give you as much detail as possible.
No. So there was an outside toilet and there was a nail in the back of the door and it was squares, a newspaper punched over it. Right? My uncle used to say that's where the Bruins get their name, and that's where our Wally got a good suntan. You know, that's the truth. There was a big tin bath, right, in front of the fire on a Sunday. That's where we get bathed. You didn't want to be forth in the water because there was wee bits of newspaper floating about.
Was that normal, tinned baths and all that?
That was that. We're quite posh in a tin bath. No, but then we moved to, obviously when the schemes were demolished, we moved to Cran Hill, and then I was at Star Point Street in Cran Hill, number 51, then 81, then all my changes were Strone Road, Bellrock Street, you know, then I had geographical changes to Rossi, you know, when alcoholism and messing about with substances appeared in my life. So,
what age were you when that started?
11.
Is that when you started?
11, it was every tablet I could get hold of, solvents, glue rolled up my hair, just anything that...
Glue was big back in the day, wasn't it? A lot of people were...
Anything that... Well, to be fair, it was Bostik, it wasn't any of the cheaper brands, you know.
I was alright then.
Even then I tried to have a bit of style. No, the air fix glues and so on. I don't know, it was anything to stop feeling like me.
Why did you not like feeling like you?
I don't really know whether it was true or false. I never at any point in time felt needed, wanted, loved. You know, I don't remember much of my childhood. I only remember pain and fear.
Is that partly because you had a big family? So back in the day, it was normal to have like 8 brothers and sisters and things.
No,
like that.
I always felt like a round pin in a square hole. I harboured the ideas that I might be adopted. Right, I always just felt different, you know, and these feelings were engulfing me, and then I just didn't want to be. I didn't feel I fitted anywhere. Then when substances come into my life, it's as if I'd found the answer. And then when I put the substances down, I found that the ultimate answer. I found booze.
Aye.
You know, which I thought was the answer. I didn't know that was just going to...
What was your tipple of choice?
Anything that was liquid.
Just anything at all.
Anything.
Cheerful.
Underage drinking, it's whatever you can get your hand on, really.
My life's so... you'd need to write 15 books. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable in places. You can, depending where this podcast goes, the things that here's one thing I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything exactly as it is to the best of my ability. Except anything law enforcement agents could use against me. But
Sorry, careful. Sorry, nobody watches this anyway, mate.
Sure, I'm on it. We'll double it.
Maybe this is the one that will make us go viral.
We'll get up to some of my family will watch it, so we'll get that. You know, I've got a big family.
So how did you get? Like, how do you go for that? Basically, it's like rags to riches, right? It's like, how do you go for having nothing in life like that to sharing like bathwater to being successful in business?
See, success, I mean, it took me 40 years to be an overnight success. The amount of failures I've had in my life, the amount of times I've failed, the amount of companies that's failed, the amount of mistakes I've made are...
People say that you need to become a failure to be a success. You've got to experience failure.
Well, with booze, I had to surrender to win. I had to know that it had beat me. There's that many people out there that have got great talents and abilities. I became a sort of workaholic. You know, when I weighed down the booze, I got into a 12-step recovery program, and it just showed me a whole new way of life. They told me my life would change beyond my wildest dreams, and I've had such a life that I should have been dead. I mean, there was instances where I could have been murdered quite easily. The life I chose to lead.
Was that like gang fighting and things like that? And
there was misunderstandings that took place with incredibly violent people, and there was there was firearms incidents. There was weapons, and there was some scary shit. When you stayed at the point, some of it happened in my early sobriety as well. But you could justify it when you were mad with the booze. It just went hand in hand with it. In fact, it was quite exciting. You sort of lived a sort of Johnny Dillinger fantasy, my dreams then weren't dreams of success in business or owning a home. It was being a successful robber or something, or being respected, being feared, and all the ridiculous stuff that...
There's people out there that are still like that to this day. It's like that's their goal.
It's sad, and I've met a lot of them during my journey, and they've got some amount of ability. If they, unbelievable. I think Al Capone he worked in the tax office or something. He was, or whatever, he had some kind of decent job in an accountant or something like that. But it's just, there's something about...
It was the tax man that brung him down.
It
was the tax man that brung him down.
I think
he didn't get done for his crimes, he get done for no paying tax.
I know. And yeah, you look at the charity work he done, and, they get no thanks for it.
Aye. It's like, what was your... Like, see, try to get off the drink and all that, because there'll be people out there who are watching this and maybe thinking they can't get off it. It's like you're saying about failure in business. It's like there's going to be people that have failed that try to get off it. It doesn't mean you'll never be able to do it.
No, you need to keep. It's not about how many times you fail. It's about how many times you get back up after you fail. See, when you fall, just get right back up. I couldn't do it myself. I had to go and get help for a 12-step recovery program. I've wrote 2 books. There's always hope. I think you might see them. I know that at the end of this podcast, you've been good enough. We're going to give the book away free to download it with a QR code, and that's got stories of people's recovery. Jimmy White, the snooker player, is a good friend of mine today, and that's no bragging, it's just a fact. He had his issues with cocaine, and he's put his story in it as well, just to help people. We need people, we need to get into it. For me, it was a 12-step recovery group, and unbelievable. I thought it was other people. It was situations, it was my employer, it was my wife, it was when I get married, it was everything that was causing me to drink. I didn't realise that the drink was the fundamental problem.
You always blame everybody else, didn't you?
Everything, always.
How did you find the programme that ended up working for you?
I had tried many times to stop drinking, and I just couldn't do it. I could stop multiple times. I couldn't stay stopped. I tried everything. I tried changing drinks. I tried. I'll not take my first drink to 8 o'clock.
I'll not drink spirits. I'll just drink beers.
Is there anything you want to talk about this after the meeting? You want to talk about it? You've got it here. I like you've got the numbers in that book.
Yeah. No,
that's the common thing. People drink vodka and then they want to fight, so they'll stick with the beer because that calms them down a wee bit.
The thing is,
that's what they believe. None of that's true. But it's if I stay off whiskey, I'm okay.
So I don't really like. My thing is, I'm not a drinker. Like, I'll have like a night out and things like that, but I seen my dad go through all that kind of stuff, and to the day my dad died, he was never able to beat it. I mean, he got progressive better. He never really got worse, but he always had that addiction in his life. And I think if I'd went back and asked him, he'd have just said, it can't be done. But so it is good to see people who have done it and proving it can be done.
I couldn't have done it in Mullen. I needed the 12-step recovery programme.
What age were you when you realised you wanted? What motivated you to change?
When I was 21, I stopped for 6 weeks, right, and then hit it again. Didn't listen. When I was 26, I get sober for 7 months.
So 21's still quite young to realise.
I was
still young and daft.
You need to understand, I started at 11. I had done a decade of abusing myself with booze and any other mind-altering substance I could get a hold of.
Ties with your pals at 21.
You change your phone number, change your friends. That was for 6 weeks. Then when I was 26, I get 7 months sober. I wouldn't listen, tried to do it my way. Didn't do the steps, didn't do what was suggested, and as a result of that, I was another year, and that's when it took me to my very worst. Then that took me to skipping, sleeping in derelict buildings, to men's hostels and different things. More.
That's at 26 years old.
That was 26.
Homeless.
Homeless. I've been married to the most wonderful woman in the world, Helen. I've been with her for 49 years, and I lost contact with her for about 10 months during that particularly bad period, and it was crippling. But when I managed to get myself sober through the 12-step recovery programs, I was able to reconcile with my wife and family, and then it's been some journey.
So see that period between 21 to 26, were you working? Were you driven by success, or
no? I was driven by fear. I was in hospitals, getting locked up. The judge said I was 29 drink-related offences. He was talking on my 30th. If I get picked up on a Friday, I was locked up to the Monday. I get periods. I was a very, very, very good worker, right? And when I was working, I was good. And when I wasn't working, I was bad, and that was the reality. But employers kept putting up with me because
you were a good worker.
Well, I'd like to think that they've seen something I never seen, because they'd always say, "Colin, see when you're different. You can do this." And I love selling. I love the general public. I love conversing with people, and so I was very. But just every time I picked up a drink, I let myself down. I let everybody I came in contact with. My alcohol and drug taking was a whirlwind of destruction through everybody's life I came in contact with. We need to people forget this is a family illness. A lot of people say,
definitely.
"Oh, Colin, you're amazing what you've come back." If you look at what I put my family through, and everybody that ever loved me, my sister, my mother, my father, my wife, my children, what I put them through. I need 3 lifetimes to make that up to them, but I'll just do the best I can on a daily basis. I don't see that scheme to boss. The only thing I was not going to come on it was because it sounded like it was a bit braggadocious. What I'm up. So
we've had some comments about saying that.
But I'm absolutely blessed. And I said, if Stuart Dougal can go on it, I can go on it. And Stuart's a decent lad. I know Stuart for some of the terrible refereeing decisions he made. Sorry, I'm allowed to say that now.
You'll be watching us laughing at you.
that was one of our most viewed clips. It's like the one against Aberdeen at Ibrox.
I don't talk about football.
Like, Mulgrew in, it's like people were going mad for it.
Made the right decision.
So so your journey, like obviously going for drink, drugs, all that kind of stuff, but it sounds like you're obviously a good salesman.
Yes.
So I take it that's what it's made you, when you did get your head down, you worked anything that you were going to sell, it just worked for you.
No, I failed more times than anybody believe. I just see the bottom line is you only fail if you stop. I've always been able to dream, and I've always been able to dream big. It's never happened big. Even now, many things is an illusion, to how well. See, I made a lot of mistakes. Right, my life isn't a success story.
It's an inspiring story.
It's a story I'd like to think some for hope, because what it could have been, but I went on to neglect my wife and kids and work almost as badly as I neglected them when I was drinking. Do
you think that replaced your addiction?
Yes.
So you're addicted to working hard, and that replaced...
Yeah, and I never knew. Yeah. So I thought that my son had the best Nike clothes, my daughter the BMX bikes, the best fitted kitchen, the best carpet, the best telly, videos when they come in. I mean, I was on Betamax, you don't remember that. But I just thought that if you had money, it would solve every problem in the world, and I got that wrong also. But
people think money equals success.
Yeah, and
it depends what your definition of success is, but as well, there's a lot of people who successful to them is being able to go for a meal and not have to worry about when the bill comes, whether they can afford it or not. And then there's other people who their version of success is they need to be a millionaire.
Yeah, but I think that's just a comfort blanket. I honestly think, I believe with all my heart that I'm happy today. Right? I feel I've probably got the least economically I've ever had, because of mistakes, business mistakes I made, in fact, I know that I'm worth less now than I've ever been worth financially, but I'm absolutely a multi-millionaire, and because I feel needed, wanted and loved. And that's been brought about by being able to understand the mistakes I made that was through alcohol and drug addiction. Then the other ones are just mistakes I've made in life that I've been able to continue to pay back and make back. I've still not got it absolutely right, but it's good. My friends are real friends, my family. We've got a family unit. Every family in the East End of Glasgow. I do the school talks, talking drugs, going round all the different schools in Lanarkshire. I've been in front of 9,000 kids. One of the questions I ask is this: have any of you been adversely affected by alcohol or drugs? Yourself, members of your family, or neighbours? Can you please put your hand up? There's a wall of hands in every single school.
Is that primary school, secondary schools?
Yes, secondary schools. Secondary schools. And while we're speaking about our experiences and the havoc we've caused our family, our pupils have ran out the class crying.
You don't realise it.
I've spoken in front of 86 school teachers at a drugs talk, and 2 of them ran out because you need to understand, school teachers are coming in wrecked with a problem as well.
Everybody is, but
the drug problems in the prisons just now. I've got one of the small books into every prison in Scotland, at Addiewell, Berlin, Kilmarnock, because I just know that there's people out there, if they can just make that first step, if they can pick up the phone and tell somebody, look, I can't cope with alcohol and booze, there's help. Here's where we are, and I'm sorry to go on a bit, here's where we are in Scotland, right? We've got 1,276 died last year with alcohol and 1,051 with drugs. We've got over 700 suicides, right? Minimum unit pricing and politicians fabricating reports to indicate that minimum unit pricing is bringing down the deaths. It's just a total fallacy. Just a total fallacy. And even and God, I hope it helps someone somewhere, but the clean consumption rooms, the safe consumption rooms.
I was just about to ask you that there. It's like, what is your genuine opinion on them?
I hope that the nurses, and I hope their stewards down there are bouncers to help with the nurses when people come in to take the clean consumption. I think they need to do it.
It's like the methadone clinics as well. It's like
we've got 25,000 in Scotland on methadone. We've got 251,000 in the United Kingdom in methadone. That does not include the methadone that's in the prisons. We've got 8,000 prisoners in Scotland, and that doesn't include them. My view on the safe consumption rooms, if it helps one, see if a nurse can say, is this what you want to do? See if they can...
They're going to do it regardless.
See if they can pick up... but my worry is, are they doing this for the right reasons? There is a point going to be saying to do something. They point blank refuse to put rehab beds in that's been badly needed for years in this country. They point blank refuse. So they have to be seen to do something. I'm meeting with... I'm the drugs minister. I think it's the 11th of December. And hopefully she'll be susceptible to what I'm going to say, that they have to, I believe that they have to get real. I believe that Nicola Sturgeon said that she had dropped the ball to do with drug deaths. I think the ball's now burst. Scottish Government now is I don't know, I think they've just to be seen to do something. I think what you can tell just with the news now. Yeah. I try not to do politics, but the parties in a...
Do you think more could be done? Is that why you're out trying to...
Yeah. Sorry, I resent sometimes being called an activist. I've done Kick Addiction Balls that's got the QR code for the book. I've written books to get them distributed to guide people. There has to be a two-pronged attack on this, right? If there was ever a battle again, if there was ever a war on drugs, we lost it a long time ago. We lost that war. If it ever took place, we lost it.
You well lost
right. So what we need to do with the schools is education, intervention and prevention. We need to go in and educate the kids and let them know And if you see the 9,000 reports I've got, the only study of its kind, the only data that exists in the United Kingdom for this, I have it, right? And there's no interest being showed by the government. So the kids, the young people, the pupils, we go in and we educate them, right, to how bad they can get and what to do if they get themselves entangled in it. Then the people that's already drowning and the ones that's already where we are, all we can do is, for me, and this isn't a one-stop shop, but we can guide as many as we can into 12-step recovery programs. The 12-step recovery programs are self-supporting through their own contributions. They're not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. They don't wish to engage in any controversy. They neither endorse nor oppose any causes. So they're a standalone, don't need government funding, and we can guide people into that. And that between education at one end, right, and trying to guide the people that's already caught and trapped into it at the other end, right? And if the government ever wakes up and puts the rehab beds in, that would be a bit in the middle. And then I have a children's charity, Blameless, that supports the children of alcoholic and addicts because
is that your charity?
Yeah,
your charity?
Yeah. This is a family illness. The destruction it's causing, the economical cost to the country, the hospital beds it's taken up with alcohol and drugs, the crime. You need to understand. People don't understand when an old granny's house gets robbed by somebody that's drug infused. Right, that poor old pensioner ends up taking up a doctor's space to be on tranquilizers. There's parents, there's sons and daughters travelling from one end of the city to the other, using up fuel and their time and their family time.
It's like the butterfly effect, isn't it?
It's just the destruction that it's causing. Much more has to be done. Society has to understand that alcohol and drug addiction is a disease. It's not a life choice. I did not choose. See, when I was sitting at school, I had dreams like any other kid. I wanted to be a doctor or an astronaut or a scientist. I never said I want to be a useless, drunken, alcoholic drug bum that sleeps in derelict buildings. That wasn't a life choice.
See, like some people struggling, I think their issue is they drink because they're bored and they don't know what else they want to do with their life, so they think like they'll not be able to change anything. I'm sitting in the house, I'm bored, so I'll drink at the weekend, then before you know it, it's during the week and things like that. Like, do you think anybody can change their life around and be a successful business person?
There is no hopeless cases. There's no hopeless cases. Everybody and anybody, if they seek the help to do it. See, when an alcoholic or a drug addict puts alcohol or drugs into their system, it manifests itself in the phenomenon of craving. Right? This is not a life choice. I never knew. Have you ever sat with a box of Maltesers and took a few and you can't stop yourself eating them?
Aye.
No, I eat multi-packs all the time, man. I'm a family size guy.
And do you ever tell yourself, do you ever shut the lid down and then open it again?
Aye.
Right. I'm going to tell you something.
Every night.
See, to an alcoholic, a drug addict, manufacture that want by 100. There's no, multiply that by 100. I needed it. I had to have it. And I didn't know it was a disease that the more you took, the more you craved, the more you needed. And a lot of people will say, you need to understand, there's people sitting out there that say, it's a life choice. You should look after your family, get a grip of yourself. You have a better chance of telling somebody to stop having diarrhea. Stop that diet.
I seen a thing on TikTok the other day, and it's wee Wido, he calls himself, right? And somebody had said to him, people that take drugs, 20 years ago I could understand it because you never seen the effects. People who are taking it now are just stupid because they've seen the effects, and it's like, that's not how it works. It's like some people, it's like they're brought up around it and it's normalised to them. So as much as they might see their dad being pissed or their ma being fully, like to them that's just a normal way of living. It's like that's the path that they're going to go down because they think that's it. And in my head, that's what I think it is anyway. I don't think it's a case of you look at them and go, oh, I'm definitely going to be put off taking drugs for the rest of my life because I've seen the state that person's in. Or you're just used to it, aren't you?
I think a lot of young people like schemes of housing this state, they all start off taking it, you all dabble and experience it, and just some people maybe take it a bit far and can't get off it.
It's like people sitting getting stoned, it's like, or sitting getting mad with it every night. To them, that's just what you do. It's no, like to me, it's no normal, because that's not the life I live. But to a lot of these people, it will be. They're used to seeing their mas and dads being like that.
See, I watched my I watched my father drinking excessively. I watched my brother drink excessively. My brother.
Did they put you after that?
No, I'd said to myself I would never do that. See the fighting and the shouting in the house, no, the carry on. I swore I'd never do that. I've been my mum and that. I'll never do that. And then all of a sudden, you're right in the middle of it without knowing. The book Alcoholics Anonymous has the word powerless in it once, and it has the word power in it 55 times. I defined the power. A power. The first step for me was to admit I was powerless over alcohol and my life had become unmanageable. And funny enough, for 12 steps, I'm at a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, trying to carry the message to others. I believe it a privilege, an honour, a buzz. See, to help get somebody guided into a 12-step recovery programme or apps. See the school talks. See this just now. I'm very, very comfortable indeed talking about the destruction alcohol and drugs are causing in this country and what we can do to try to. I'm much more comfortable talking about that than I'm talking about anything to do with any success. The bit of success that I've had and the bit of thing is it's given me a platform. Hamilton Academical Football Club, right? When I bought that, gave me the platform to be invited on to things like this.
When did you buy that? Many years ago did you buy?
Well, I've been there for 20 years.
So 20 years.
I've been there for 20 years with the group. That 20 years.
20 odd years.
Yeah.
How does something like that come about? Like how do you go from being pissed all the time to owning that?
Pissed all the
it's
time.
like genuinely, but it's amazing. How does that come about?
Well, I kept getting into bother. I keep getting into business bother, and then as I was getting into the bother, people was telling me how I get out of the bother. So I actually became quite an apt at getting companies out of bother.
You found your niche.
So when Hamilton was on its knees, right, it couldn't pay its players' wages. It didn't have the money to finish the stadium. It was just going to get put into Avazandam land, and I just come up with the idea, if I went and got somebody that knew about football, so I went and got Ron McDonald and Alan Maitland and Les Gray were geniuses. A pal of mine, Hammy, a diamond, a man was with me. Should done we get the stadium finished, and I don't know how we done it. We kept going. I said to one pal, I says, look.
So did this opportunity come to you, or did you just read up that they were struggling and thought, do you know what, I'm going to go for that?
A very old guy, Jim Watson, phoned me and said, Colin, can you help us? I'm a friend of David so-and-so's and we can't pay the wages for the football players this week. And so I went over, so we managed to lend them, me and my pal, we clubbed everything, we clubbed a few quid together, we managed to lend them $9,000 to pay the Hamilton's wages, and then I got to meet him and then got to find out the extent of the bother, and then I said, here, we could do this, and he didn't have a son, Jim Watson, so he sort of told me all about the mess of it, and then that's just sort of getting amongst it.
What age were you at that time, if you don't mind me asking?
I think I was 20, I would have been 49 then.
49?
I'd been 49 then.
So you're already like a kind of successful businessman, that's why he's came to you?
I was already a chancer that had to go at anything. Success.
That's amazing, isn't it, man?
Sorry, I had the amount of good fortune, miracles. Can I tell you something? I enter this building, right? This building is owned by a pal of mine, Bill Roddy, Spectrum Properties, a lovely man that helps us with the pantomime every single year. See this office, 39 years ago, I was in this office with a wee cutting company overlooking that graveyard that's there.
Was that your first business venture?
Yeah, and I'm sitting here with you two young men, and see, I believe coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. Right, there's miracles. I mean, how's that possible that I end up called out the blue? Never heard of these in my life.
Because I believe you create your own luck. I don't think anything's a miracle, but you've obviously got yourself out there speaking to people in business and all that, and like, people got to know you, didn't they? So you created your own luck because you had different business ventures, you spoke to different business partners, and he's came to you for a reason. Well, because you worked your arse off for years.
Well, I choose to believe in a power greater than me. If it's lucky that I met Bill Roddy, and if it's lucky that he pays the pavilion for the pantomime every year.
It wouldn't have happened if you were still on the drink. It's because you worked.
Aye, and if it's lucky, you phone me, and if it's lucky, this is the office. So
lucky that I phoned you.
So for me, I'll stick to coincidences. God's way of staying anonymous.
Hamilton ended up having quite a good team when they got promotion. See financially, see getting the promotion. Was it like game changer? And then obviously getting
Ronnie McDonald, Alan Maitland, Les Gray, the football geniuses. They took Hamilton Accies at the corner of Whitehill, a wee club at the corner of Whitehill, into the Premiership for 10 years, 7 years consecutively.
Because one of my pals is an Accies fan. They used to see when Rangers go demoted.
The other man had to be somewhere.
Well, he kept saying to me, he's like, we're an established team. He's like, an established SPFL team, and it did he didn't.
No, but I'm saying, see when you consider 10 years, when you consider one of the biggest youth academies, this year there, they've sold over £500,000 worth of players to English clubs. It's pure genius to have managed to maintain the youth academy there. During two falls, we fell for the Premiership to the Championship, for the Championship to the first, and protected the youth academy that kick-started 4 young men onto their career in football. Not to mention the start the McCarthy got, Brian Easton, Lewis Ferguson.
Did Lewis Ferguson play for them?
Aye.
Is that the academy he came through? Is that the academy he came through then? Aye. They've got quite a good list of players that have come through that academy.
Unbelievable.
That's impressive, isn't it? It's like,
anyway,
what's their secret?
I never spoke about football when I was in it.
So let's talk to you a minute today. So businesses, so you're obviously involved with Hamilton. What other businesses are you involved in? I know you do a lot of charity work, and you actually kindly donated 50 tickets for Easterhouse Football Academy for me to take the kids to a circus.
Oh, it's great.
Cheers for that, mate.
Me and a couple of my really, really good pals, we'll be elves. We'll be dressed as elves at it, and I've got another pal of mine.
You dress up as an elf and all?
A pal of mine, Martin Gallagher. I was telling him about it. He's buying every one of the kids one of the wee wavy things.
Glow stick kind of things.
Just the wee glow sticks. There's such.
I told them all, the parents they're all buzzing for it.
The amount of people that helped me with the Hamilton Food Bank and the different things like that. It's just, but other businesses, I stumble about trying to dig up a few quid here and there. That's just the truth.
What was your first success when you thought, I've made it, or I know that you've made it, but I'm doing well here, I've changed my life around? Was there a moment that you remember and think that you're financially secure?
No, my only moment I remember that when my life changed was I was walking along Strone Road, and I had been, this last sobriety, I've been 41 years clean and sober, and I was walking along Strone Road, and I was about 10 months sober, and I just get this feeling I need never drink again. It was a sort of spiritual moment. I need never drink again. And for then, I've just always known something would turn up. I've never had any. I had a tax meeting. I had quite a severe sort of tax inquiry a number of years ago, and they couldn't believe how simple my life was. I've never driven. I've never owned a motor. I've never been a member of a
How did you get here the day? You got a chauffeur there?
No, it's well, Carol would resent being called. I've got a wee pal that loves what I do with the charity, and she drives me down, and I've got lots of friends that lift me and lay me, and and there's no big successful company. There's no big bank accounts where you could retire. I've got enough money to last me the rest of my life as long as I die next Wednesday.
You don't think about getting your licence now that you're clean and sober?
No. You kind of, no, it's not for me. One of the best things I ever done was not getting a driving licence. The amount of relationships I built travelling with people in cars and different things like that. I've always, I got a wee bit jealous when all my pals has gone to the golf. I tried golf once, but I stood too near the ball after I hit it.
Not that very good.
No. I done Glen Eagles. I done 111 at Glen Eagles, but I done a lot better on the second hole.
I was going to say, you tried it. That's better than trying it.
So we've got 5 minutes left or whatever, mate. So anybody that wants help, we've got your book here. We're going to put a wee barcode up, scan the barcode, and you'll be able to listen to podcasts with similar stories. But can anybody reach out to you, your charities and things like that, if they want any help or support?
You'll get me at the stadium all the time. Anybody can come over. I will say this. I don't know how many watch this podcast. I know it will grow because you've got a great charisma about you, and I think it will grow. I hope it grows. And if I'm speaking directly to anybody that's watching this, even if it's 300 or if it's 1,100 that watch this, and alcohol and drugs is wrecking your life, your family's life right now, and you're leaning down again to that, Charlie, or you're ordering another bottle of scotch, it doesn't need to be like that. It doesn't need to be like that. Get a hold of the book, the QR code's there, every helpline number's there, pick up the phone. My life changed the minute I picked up the phone. My life changed the minute I surrendered and knew that alcohol and drugs was bigger than me, and it beat me, it defeated me, it took me to my knees, it took everything from me. I couldn't be the man I wanted to be, I couldn't be the father I wanted to be, I couldn't be the husband I wanted to be. It took everything from me. My dignity, my pride, my self-respect. 12-step recovery program's given me that back in abundance. It's given me a want and a desire to try to help other people and just be there. So yeah, if alcohol or drugs is wrecking your life, do something about it, because it's never going to get better, it's only going to get worse.
Aye.
Well, I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, mate. It was good to,
a privilege, honestly.
Aye, honestly, and it's a great inspirational message, mate.
And sorry I had to jump out halfway through. I thought I was going to choke to death. I thought I can't get a bit of dust stuck in my throat or something. I don't know what to say.
Colin, thank you very much, mate.
Really honestly,
appreciate that.